How do you get a team of people to help each other with the challenges of life? Show them, don't tell them. So here's what I want you to think about. Ask this question. Say, there are 6 things that all of us, from the moment we wake up until we go to sleep at night, we have to keep these 6 things afloat in our life. Now, thinking in broad terms, really broad terms, I don't care who you are, what you do, where you are, but these 6 things you somehow have in your life. I guarantee it. Thinking in broad terms. So, what are some things? People might say, well, your family. Okay, good, family. But in broad terms, relationships. Your family, people at work, whatever, all of your friends, relationships. That's one. So what else? What's another thing? People say, what you eat. I'm like, okay, that's good. Exercise, yeah, that's good. But can we put it in broad terms? Health. Your health. Critical to how we function, right? So relationships and health. What's another thing that we have to do? People say, oh, your work. It's like, yes, actually, yes, your work, your job. That is something that we deal with all the time. So relationships and your health and your job, absolutely. And then related to job, in broad terms, every day you wake up, you have to deal with this one way or the other. What is it? Related to job? Yes, money. You make money, but you have to spend the money. Money is an issue that we all have to deal with. What's another one? Thinking in broad terms. People say, how about, like your health, but this and that. It's like, how about I'll give you a hint. I said from the moment you wake up until you go back to, yes, sleep. It's a third of our life. And we know we don't even have a class on this. We should have it from beginning of time. It's like from elementary school through high school. Sleep. We spend a third of our life sleeping. And the 6th and final one is kids. Now, some people, I don't have kids. If you don't have a kid, I bet you have a pet. If you don't have a pet, you have a plant. There's something in your life that you think about that you nurture, if you will. And even if I don't have any kids, I bet you I have family members and friends who do have kids. Kids change our lives when you're around a child because it's a big reminder of the way you used to be. I'll say, now, how do we all help each other with these 6 broad terms? These things that we all have to deal with. And I say, well, here's the game. We play with a beach ball. We have relationships, we have sleep, we have kids, we have our health, we have job, we have money, all these things. And then I say, okay, everyone in the audience, I'm going to throw this out into the group, and your job as a team is to keep this thing afloat. You got to keep it bouncing around the room. See? Don't drop it. Because if you do drop it, the last person to touch it, we lose that team member. Do we want to lose a team member? No, because the more people we lose, the harder it's going to be for all of us. So you want to keep this thing floating, and you just bounce it back and forth. And okay, everybody ready? And usually this is what happens. People are a little uncomfortable and they're kind of looking around, but no one wants to say anything. I'll say, what seems to be the problem? Well, can we stand? You think it might be easier if you stand? I go, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you can stand. And everyone's relieved because they stand up and they shove their chairs in. I say, well, why did you want to stand? Well, because it will probably make it easier. Oh, so what you're saying is, depending on how you position yourself in life, may have a correlation with how you deal with these 6 things in life? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then I'll say, you can position yourself any way you want. So usually people they'll even strategize more, and then it's like, okay, now we're ready. Now we're a team and we're ready to bounce. And so what I do is I throw this out into the audience. What they don't know is I also have another one of these, because sometimes life comes at you fast. And they'll start bouncing this around. Now, what's really interesting to watch is some people will take the ball, and when it comes to them, they'll just do a nice little set, like in volleyball, and set it to someone else. Other people, when it comes to them, they just spike this thing, like, get it away from me. Well, inevitably, you spike this thing at someone, it comes in so fast they can't handle it, and sure enough, it hits them in the back of the head or in the face, and it hits the floor, and it's like, oops, sorry, you're out. Well, when they're out, I say, okay, you're gone. They're done. And then I stop the action, and I'll ask the audience, hey, did anybody know this person that we lost? And they'll say, oh yeah, we knew. Oh, you did. What was her name? Sue? Okay, Sue. What was she like? And people will say, well, she was nice. Oh, how was she nice? Oh, she always was pleasant to be around, and she was just really good coworker. Ah. Does anyone else know her? I was like, oh yeah, you knew her? What was she like? Well, she was just always pleasant. I look forward to seeing her. Ah. And then I'll ask that person, did you know any of this stuff that these people are saying? And usually the answer is no, they didn't. Because what we're doing right now in this game is a little funeral talk. Because, right, that's what we say at funerals. We just say these amazing things about the person after they're dead. You don't have to wait. You can tell them now. It's amazing how powerful this exercise is. And I say we all have to keep these things afloat, right? Depending on how you're bouncing it to each other, and if you even can bounce it. Because we all are going to deal with it one way or the other. But if I just stand here by myself and try to keep this thing afloat, it's going to be really hard. And if there's just one other person I can bounce this to, and they can bounce it back to me, and I can help them, it keeps life afloat, and it's a whole lot easier.